The last ordinary morning. I'm starting with the initials. Tuesday, 6:47 a.m. I'm standing at our kitchen counter in yesterday's t-shirt, thumbing through the shared tablet to add oat milk to the grocery list. And the calendar app is still open from when Alex used it last night. A block, 7 p.m., recurring weekly, labeled MR. I'm Tessa, 33, married to Alex for 6 years, together for 9, and I want you to understand I wasn't looking for anything. I was looking for oat milk. I scroll back. The same block, same time, every Thursday, going back 4 months. Sometimes it says MR, 7 p.m., sometimes just MR. Once, MR moved to Friday. MR, 2 letters. My first thought was ugly and fast, a woman. The initials of a woman he was seeing. My second thought was worse, and it took 3 days to get there. Alex had told me, back in year 2, about a woman named Maren Reyes, his college relationship. 4 years, an engagement that fell apart the week before they were supposed to send invitations. He talked about her the way you talk about a scar. Not often, and never in detail. I never asked for detail. That was the deal I made with myself. The one I never said out loud. I would not ask about Maren, and in exchange, I would not have to know anything that might hurt. M.R. Maren Reyes. So I did something I'm not proud of, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. I didn't confront him. I waited until Thursday. He left at 6:40, said it was a work thing, a standing check-in with a vendor that had been happening for months. It's boring. Don't worry about it. I'd heard that sentence so many times I'd stopped hearing it. That's the part that guts me now. How a lie only works if you've already trained yourself not to listen. I followed him, 20 minutes across town, into an office building I didn't recognize. Not a bar, not an apartment. A building with a directory in the lobby, and on the 3rd floor, a placeholder plain door, Family and Couples Therapy, Dr. R. Okonkwo. I sat in my car for 40 minutes. When he came out, he wasn't alone. She was tall, dark-haired, laughing at something he'd said. The easy laugh of someone comfortable with a person. He touched her elbow, briefly, guiding her toward the stairs instead of the elevator. The kind of small, habitual gesture that isn't romantic and also isn't nothing. They stood on the sidewalk for another 6 minutes. I know because I timed it. I don't know why I timed it. I think some part of me needed proof I could hold in my hand. I want to tell you what I learned that night, and I want to tell you the truth about what I did with it, because both halves matter. Alex had been seeing Maren in counseling every week for 4 months, not for a physical affair. He was telling the truth about that, and I believe him. And I need you to sit with how strange it is that this still broke me. He'd reached out to her a year after we married, after his father died, and something about grief cracked open the old unfinished thing with her. He told himself it was closure. A joint session with a therapist, structured, professional, meant to let them both say the things they never got to say and put it down for good. Here's what he never told himself, or told himself and didn't believe. Closure isn't a place you visit once a week for 4 months. It's not a recurring calendar block. Somewhere around week 6, he stopped needing to say the unfinished things and started looking forward to Thursdays. And that is the part I can't dress up for you. He built a warm little room with another woman and paid for it with my trust and called it therapy. Christ, he knew it. I could see it in how carefully he'd hidden it. Not the guilty carelessness of a man who doesn't care if he's caught, but the meticulous secrecy of someone protecting something he already suspected was wrong. When I finally asked him, in our kitchen, tablet in hand, he didn't lie again. He told me everything, fast, like it had been sitting behind his teeth for weeks. He cried. He meant it when he said he never touched her. He also meant it 4 months earlier when he told himself this was healthy. Both things were true. That's what nobody warns you about. The people who hurt you rarely feel like villains from the inside. And me, I have to own my half of this. I knew Maren's name was a locked room in our marriage. I chose not to knock on it, not because I trusted him, but because I didn't want to know what was behind it. I mistook that silence for peace for 6 years. Here's the thing I keep coming back to when the house is quiet. It's not the therapy office I can't stop seeing. It's every Thursday night I spent here on this couch, feeling lucky, texting him, "Drive safe," keeping his dinner warm. I was so proud of us for being the couple that gave each other space. I wasn't giving him space. I was giving him cover, and I didn't even know to grieve those Thursdays until I found out what they really were. I'm not going to tell you I filed for divorce, and I'm not going to tell you I forgave him and we're stronger now. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't know yet. What I do know is that I stopped being a woman who avoids locked rooms. I know where every account, every calendar, every unfinished conversation in this house lives now, not because I don't trust Alex, but because I finally trust myself enough to look. So tell me, if there's no affair, no touch, nothing you could point to in a courtroom, is rebuilding old intimacy with an ex in secret under the name of healing still a betrayal? Or is the secrecy the only crime and the closure itself was innocent? Tell me in the comments. I read everyone.